known, okay, known and unknown. So thank you. Welcome for joining this wonderful energy summit. It's all about energy, right? So let's all close our eyes to start some prayer. We say invocation is a way of talking to God, way of asking God for whatever you want to have blessings. We can talk quietly or silently, but since we're a group, I just guide you a short invocation promise. Short. Okay. So just mentally follow me. And if I didn't say anything that you want, feel free to fill it in. Okay. I have pauses so you feel the energy. Okay. So close your eyes. We're gonna talk to God. We're gonna wait for the evocation, the part where God gives us whatever we ask for. He grants us whatever you ask for. So make sure you ask the right thing for 2026. Close your eyes, put the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and be aware of your heart center. That's the center of your chest. And breathe in, hold your breath, and exhale, breathe out, and hold. When you breathe in, I want your belly to expand. Inhale, expand your belly. Hold. Exhale, I want you to contract your belly. Tuck in. Do a few more breathings on your own with awareness on your heart, the center of your chest. I want you to expand your heart. Feel the love for your life for 2025. How great your life was from January up to now. Inhale. Exhale. See or recall all the beautiful things you were blessed with for the whole year 2025. Appreciate everything. Be grateful for whatever you had experienced. Don't look at the bad. Only look at the good, the blessings. Take your time. Meanwhile, when you're I'm sorry. When you're breathing in and breathing out, when you're being aware of your heart, I want you to connect to your source. Whoever you pray to, whoever you believe in, connect to that. They're all powerful. They're all the giver of life, giver of light, giver of energy, giver of healing, the source of abundance. Everything you can ask from above, connect. When you connect, you can feel the downpour of energy. Plug in. It's like a socket. You plug into the socket, you get the electricity. That's life force, what we call. Once you feel the connection to the divine, we will now talk to God, invoke to God, okay? And then you're free to call to whoever you want to, whoever you want to connect to. So that to the divine God, the Father God, Mother God. I will invoke for my teacher in Pranic Healing, Master Choa Kok Sui. You can invoke for your spiritual teacher, feel free. To his teacher, Lord Mahdi Jumiling, and to all the great teachers, to all the spiritual helpers, to all the invisible helpers. There's so many angelic beings there. There's so many other invisible beings that we don't know about, but they are there, watching over us, listening to our pleas, to our prayers. So just know that you're surrounded by so many angelic beings, so many invisible beings. Visualize them, acknowledge them, know that they are there, and feel them. The whole angelic kingdom, to all the invisible world, to all the great ones. We humbly invoke, we humbly pray for your blessings, and we say thank you for all the beautiful things that you blessed us with for the whole year of 2025. And we invoke for blessings for future blessings for 2026. Thank you for always being with us. Thank you for the divine protection. And thank you for blessing our whole family, our home, our city, our country. Thank you for everything. Maybe you can thank them for your health, especially the health, for good health, mental health, emotional health, physical and etheric health. Thank you for all the knowledge that we have. And thank you for the prosperity, the abundance, and the success that we had experienced for the year. We thank you all in full faith. We thank you. Inhale and exhale. Be aware of the energy that's given to us. Just inhale everything, your whole body. Inhale and feel the energy that you're inhaling. One last breath. Hold and exhale gently. And open your eyes.
Thank you, Master Marilag. That was very, very serene, much needed. Always a beautiful way to start anything. So thank you, as we're always surrounded with beings more than just the physical. And so today we're here to find out more about Arhatic Yoga. And in our last Energy Summit, Master Marilag, you very kindly invited people to come to the course that you're teaching for the first time in the United Kingdom, Arhatic Yoga Preparatory Course of Master Choa Kok Sui in October. We already have people that have signed up, which is fantastic. But I did receive some questions, and I hope you can clarify what they are, Master Marilag. So first of all, some of the questions that I got was, I'm not so flexible. Can I still join Arhatic Yoga? I'm in my 70s. Is this still for me? And is this for Indian people? So these are some of the questions that I've received, and I hope you can help us bust some of these myths out there or common misunderstanding, and perhaps explain to us what Arhatic Yoga is. Thank you.
Whoever asked that question, all I can say is, welcome to my club. I'm also not flexible. I'm also in the 70s. If I can do it, surely you can do it. Okay. This is what I like about Arhatic Yoga. It's not doing pretzel poses. You don't have to twist your body. You don't have to go on the floor and suffer. I mean, I myself, when I was starting with other modalities, I've been to many modalities before I met Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. I couldn't sit on the floor. I was suffering. I was more focused on the pain in my butt, pain in my legs with the crossed legs, and being still, right? So what I got when I got to Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga, I love it because you sit in a comfortable chair with cushion and you don't have to do any of those movements. So it's user-friendly, senior citizen friendly, okay? So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's why I love it. And our events, we're not fasting. We're not on a hunger mode. We're loaded with so much buffet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, I love this. I love these events. So it's not the typical yoga system that you're used to, okay? It's unique. I'll tell you more later.
Thank you, Master Marilag. And could you help us tell who is Master Choa Kok Sui? And all our speakers here were blessed, including yourself, to have met him in his last incarnation. I believe he left almost 2 decades ago. But could you tell us a little bit more about him, Master Choa Kok Sui, the founder of Arhatic Yoga and Pranic Healing, please?
Almost 2 decades. Oh, okay. Almost, you're right. 2 more years is almost 2 decades already. Well, anyway, he's a spiritual teacher, what we call Satguru, the root guru. There are many teachers, there are many gurus, so to speak, but there's only one main guru, and he is my main guru, the Satguru, what we call. And why? Because as you know, all these people here and on Zoom, all our lives were transformed by that one teacher. He had instilled transformation all over the world. Not just me, not just these people, but thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people. One soul have an impact in the world like that must have the power. That's very powerful. must have the intelligence, the light. He is very intelligent. All his books, no fluff, just the essence. No going around the book, nothing. And the love aspect. I witnessed him. I'm fortunate enough where when he teaches, when he taught, I'm everything. I have a tendency to talk in present tense, okay, because it's still present. It's as if he never left. Okay, the whole time, the whole 14 years that I've met him in his body, every year he came to New Jersey to teach the higher workshops. We're fortunate enough to have to make him stay in our house for 1 week. So I've seen how he lived his life. I've seen how he wakes up. He wakes up, practices the teachings, how he eats properly, vegetarian, right? I see how he treated people who would call for healing, for help. He's always there for us, for everybody, not just me, not just special people, but to all, available to all. Even though he started teaching the whole day until 11, and then he would still stand up and heal. If somebody calls for healing, I see him healing at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I've never heard him complain, these people. I never heard him say that. Okay, he's always there for us. So really an epitome of love, generosity in energy, generosity in giving money, generosity in giving attention to everyone. Just one interaction with him, you feel special. He has a special gift. And his healing is powerful. Just his words can heal. Okay? Really a real, genuine guru. Okay?
That's really powerful. Very excited to hear from yourself some stories and also all the speakers. So without further ado, let us invite our first speaker, Mrs. Sumi Lazar Dhar, from all the way from India. So I know it's really late in India, and we have two speakers from India and lots of people that have dialed in as well. So very, very grateful. A short introduction, because Ms. Sumi is very talented with many things. So a brief introduction of Ms. Sumi. She's one of the senior instructors and senior disciples in the school of Master Choa Kok Sui, which is the school of Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga, as you heard from Master Marilag. She holds the distinguished position of being one of the trustees of Master Choa's charitable organization, the MCKS Trust Fund. She's also a trustee of the World Pranic Healing Foundation and Arhatic Yoga, as well Ashram Management Trust. For almost 30 years, she's devoted her life tirelessly to teach in numerous countries, including Africa, the Middle East, and a lot of Southeast Asian countries, particularly in her homeland, India. In addition to her professional achievements, she's also a devoted wife and a mother to a beautiful son. So thank you so much. Let us welcome Miss Sumi Lazar. Sumi, can you hear us?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gauri. Master Marilag, Atma Namaste, and to all the people who've joined across the globe. Compliments of the season, and thank you for joining us to try and understand a little bit more about our school, our teacher, and what the teacher has to offer to everyone globally. Would you like me to say?
Ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Sumi. With the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I think for me, pranic healing was a point in my life where I was seeking something that would help me change me within. And I wasn't really looking for pranic healing to help other people. But once I got going into the path of pranic healing, and then when I met Master Choa and he did the Arhatic prep class, I realized that very soon, in less than a year, I was starting to teach this course to help others because I went through some personal times or trying times in my life, and it was pranic healing and Arhatic Yoga that stood like a foundation in my life that helped me go through those difficult times and come out stronger and better. And that's when I realized if this could do what it did for me, then I could then use it to help other people. And that's basically what I chose to do. And that's why I started teaching, and I've never stopped.
That's fantastic, Sumi. Could you share some of your stories when you met Master?
Well, when I first met Master Choa, I was still a student, and back in India, we have this distance that we keep with principals and teachers, priests and nuns, right? And so, when Master Choa was around, I found it very difficult to go and be friendly with him. I would always keep a distance to the point that I used to run away from Master Choa when he would be walking towards me or towards us. He was very, very friendly. It was very easy to talk to. From what I could see other people do, even during lunch, he would come and ask people, how's the food? Are you okay? And he would come to groups that are chatting. And I did find that a little different because I never found my principals or teachers doing this. And I thought this person was very, very different. There was this one point. I don't come from a background, though I'm from India. I don't have the concept of guru in my religion. And so to consider Master Choa as a guru was something completely and totally different and new for me. But there was this one point where he was doing a talk to the public, and I had joined at that point. And it was just after New Year's. And wow, phew, it's been a while since, sorry. And so I remember it was just after New Year's, and it's just coming around the corner right now. And he said, "Say something nice to me mentally." And I didn't know what to say. Like I said, because of my background with people who are, priests and nuns and principals, you really didn't say anything much rather than good morning and good evening. And he kind of, I felt he was looking at me. He just turned around and he said, "If you don't know what to say, just say Happy New Year mentally." And that's all I did. I just mentally said, Happy New Year. And I could feel this ripple of energy coming towards me. I never felt it in my life. And that was it. That was the one moment that made a difference in my life. And I said, there was something different and special about this person that I was looking at. He was just on the book, right? He was just a picture in the book. But here he was, and I felt this amazing energy that kind of passed through me. And at the Arhatic prep class, which happened in a couple of days after that, I remember he had told us to do this particular exercise where you get to actually touch. And so when you touched literally the body of this great person, I felt like a flood of energy going through me, and I was like, that can't be true. And I got to experience it, and I said, again, that there is something about this person that I never felt with anybody else, and that was my first interaction, energetically speaking, with this great person that later became for me my personal teacher.
Thank you, Sumi. That's quite relatable for all of us who, well, because this is obviously for general public, people who, well, like all of us, were once he hadn't been in the school yet, but for there's something
Correct.
that has drawn us to this, and that's very relatable to hear from you when you were, even though from India, and Indian originally, but didn't subscribe to the
Correct.
principles of a guru and
No.
stuff. No,
Yes.
but and that's thank you for sharing that. And also your background as a psychologist. So how is this compatible, Arhatic yoga, with your background?
Well, I did find it useful because in pranic healing we teach something called pranic psychotherapy, and at that point I was interested in working with adolescents, and therefore children was part of the group that I would work with, and I had children who would come with all kinds of things from someone in the sixth grade who committed suicide to a fifth grader who had lost his mother. So there were different cases like that would come to me, and I realized sometimes Indian schools, the classrooms are rather large with around 80 to 100 students in a class, in a section, right? So, like if you're in grade 5A would have 80 students, grade 5B would have 80 students. That's a lot of students for the teachers to handle. And so, when they do find students like this, they would send them to me. And I realized there would be a long list of students who had to come, and you can't spend as much time though you would like to. And that's when I used the tool of Grandmaster Choa's pranic psychotherapy on these children, plus the counseling. And I found that that medium at that point really helped work through the sessions faster than it would normally do if I was only doing counseling, right? The other aspect that I also realized is when I was going through my trying times that I mentioned, I found both these like two pillars in my life that helped me navigate through those difficult times and hopefully come out as a stronger person. But more importantly, the ability to then share that with other people is what I found very useful. So even when I do meet with patients, I use my counseling psychology background to understand and help them through what they're going through, rather than only doing healing. There would be both that I would normally use.
That's priceless, Sumi. Thank you. Because traditional sort of counseling coaching is very much like talk-based therapies, whereas there's no tool to then help pull those negative energies out. So I guess that's what you're describing, to combine those two, and with just pranic healing alone is just the tool. So this is a perfect combination to be able to combine those two.
Correct, because I think in the end, everything is energy, right? Starting with physics, not even talking about spirituality or even pranic healing, but everything they say is pure energy, right? The energy concept is all around. The point for us in pranic healing is to take the energy that does not hold good with your kind of energy vibration and change it to one that is similar to your kind of composition that would then help you stay healthy, right? So health is not just physical anymore, that we all understand. Health is also your emotional state, your mental state, and today there's also the spiritual element. And so all those energies need to be in sync. And so to try and get energy that is of similar vibration, that is good for you, is what we help you with.
Thank you, Sumi. That's wonderful. Can you share any of your challenges from this year and how Arhatic yoga principles helped you overcome them?
I think this year has been time away from my family, and I think that's a bit difficult because you want to spend time with them because they're so important in your life. But traveling and teaching is also equally important. And then there's also work for Master Choa's organization that I do. So you are torn in different directions, but with the help of Master Choa's teachings, you're able to try and find how time is not just the length of time, but the quality of time. And so then to try and see that when I'm home, I try to spend time with my family, which is memorable and something that is more quality based rather than the length of time that I spend, which is usually quite short. And the same thing applies to when I'm with either students or the organizers, to spend time with them, because what they need is something, guidance or whatever it is from me, and again to be present with them. So I think for me, the point is to be present at any time with whoever I am with, rather than always thinking of the past or the future.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Sumi. And a message for our audience for 2026, please.
I think for me, the message which I would like to share with everyone is to use the light, the intelligence, your wisdom, and your discernment all through 2026. Whether it's a personal challenge that you're going through, to be able to see it from outside, whether it is a health issue, to realize that the body or the bodies are trying to say something to you. And when you're going through a financial issue, to see clearly where exactly are the leakage of this money that's kind of getting drained out. So to use intelligence, because with all the things, with technology and everything else that's coming, your ability to see clearly would be very, very important, right? I think everyone is intelligent, but we should not allow other things to take care of our intelligence, but use our own intelligence to see the world around us. Yes. So light and wisdom and discernment for 2026 would be my message for everyone. It's going to
Thank
be
you,
an
Miss
interesting year.
Sumi. It
Thank you,
is.
Gauri.
Thank you. Let us invite our keynote speaker, Master Marilag, to share her views, please, Master Marilag.
Okay, am I unmuted? Okay, I love your message, discernment. And that's what I like in Pranic Healing when I entered the basic Pranic Healing. the first sentence in the class. Use discernment.
This. Oops. It's
What?
back. It's back.
Oh, how did that happen?
The echo is
The
back.
echo is back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Should I?
Anyway. Okay. Turn off the mics. Okay.
I'm going to turn off my mic for now.
Okay. That's the one that attracted me in Pranic Healing. The first sentence in my basic class: use discernment. Don't believe everything I tell you. Experiment, validate it. When you find it true, then you accept it. But if you don't, then you're free to leave. The door is open. I'm very mental that time. I have to prove it. That's his work. I'm more of a doubting Thomas when I started. So okay, this is good. They're not forcing me into it. It's not a cult. That time I was scared it might be a cult. But no, I said, you're free to leave and free to come back if you find that this is the best school for you. I like the message. Discernment is very important. Okay, that's what attracted me to Pranic Healing.
Thank you both. Master Marilag, perhaps at this junction, could you also share one of your stories in the early days when you met Master Choa Kok Sui for the first time?
Oh no, I have so many stories. Okay, my innocence, my ignorance. When I first met Master Choa, we picked him up from the airport and brought him to our house for lunch. So I was sitting across him, and then because Master Choa's teacher is Lord Mahagjimiling, that time's called Holy Master Meeting. And I thought it's a person, I thought it's a living being. So Glenn was sitting next to me and I said, so Master Choa, do you meet Master Meeting, Holy Master Meeting in Mailing Center, Manila? I thought it was a being, a person. So Glenn was kicking me under the table. I said, why? I just want to know, I just want to know. He knew already there's an invisible being, not a physical being. I just want to know. But Master Choa being Master Choa, very polite. I thought he was being polite. He was like that. He was just smiling like that. Okay, all right. So he did not answer yes or no. I said, okay, okay. And so Master Choa, is that where you met him? Again, insisting. Again, smiling. Okay. Glenn was embarrassed for me because I'm asking a silly question. At that time, it was not silly for me. I want to know. And later on, as I knew him, I did not know he didn't speak Tagalog. I spoke in a language because I was told he was a Filipino. So I thought by talking to him in a language, we can speak privately. I did not know he doesn't speak the dialect that I speak. He's born in another region in the Philippines where they speak another dialect. Saved by the bell. Okay. So he did not understand my silly question. So Glenn doesn't have to kick me under the table. So anyway, later on, that's why he was just smiling. Oh, he didn't understand what I asked him. Okay. That was my first interaction with Master. Embarrassing question, but no more embarrassment. Okay.
It's so nice to hear that he's very, very quote unquote normal. I know he's not normal. The last time you explained that to us in the last summit, but for all intents and purpose, for what you shared and what Sumi just shared, that he doesn't. There's no air. There's no difference. Is the vibe that I understand from all of you that met him. That's useful for a professional working person and a mom to hear that from all of you. Perhaps at this juncture, we can invite our second speaker all the way from Spain. We have another senior instructor disciple of Master Choa Kok Sui, Ana Maria Vargas. She is a psychologist, a therapist, a senior pranic healing instructor, also on many regions. And we have her for the last 30 years having taught pranic healing in many of these countries. And she also has written many books with best-selling books on how to raise children in a spiritual manner. So for almost 30 years, she's dedicated to teaching, starting off first in Latin America. She is from Colombia and now across Europe. She and her husband, actually, Dr. Rainer Krell, who is one of our senior instructors here in the British Pranic Healing Council. So without further ado, let us have Ana Maria. You should be.
Namaste.
Uh, Anna Maria, is it possible to rotate your image on my screen? You appear
Hello, everybody.
at an angle.
I have my image on, and I can see myself in the participants, and it's active, the image.
Okay, maybe it's me, but okay, you appear sideways on my screen. There is a way to rotate. I think if you right-click your image. Ah, okay. Or you turn your phone. That's fine.
Better like that. Now you can.
Yes, yes. Say
Okay.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. And
Thank
yes, the
you.
floor is yours, Anna Maria.
Thank you, Goey, and thank you, everybody. And namaste. Happy to be here and participate in this. Because when Goey invited me, it was just recalling that Arhatic Yoga and Pranic Healing, of course, really changed my life also. I was looking as a therapist, I'm a psychologist also. I was looking for some therapy that I can apply. I was working with kids, and psychology was not enough for me. But once I did this technique, basic advanced psychotherapy, I was absolutely amazed about that. And I wanted to meet the person who put together all these techniques, this information. It was, I was not looking for a guru either. That was just a strange idea, but I went to a course in US, actually organized by Master Marilag for Arhatic. And the moment I met Master, I just entered the room. He was like preparing the room, the energy for the class. The moment I did a second of contact with his eyes, there was an incredible realization, an incredible feeling of, oh, this is a guru. Okay, this I can accept. And it was something that very logical, very clear, very easy to understand. But the point about Arhati Yoga is how it came to me in my life in a moment that I was searching for fulfill something that it was missing, and understanding spirituality in a way that I didn't even know I was looking for. This very practical, real, understandable spirituality that we can apply in every day, that is applied for ourselves to become better persons, to work on our weaknesses, to as Master Marilag was explaining, yes, of course, we go through the physical, energetically, emotional, mental aspect, but it's like putting all together. And that was the other aspect that was very important and had a big impact on me, because as a psychologist, I was looking for something that can really help people to grow. My point was always maybe we have not to wait kids or people to be hurt or be broken to come to the psychologist, but maybe we can prevent, or even better, maybe we can work on the development process to reinforce all these aspects that help us to build as persons and then be stronger. And I found that in Arhatic Yoga. First of all, with me, for me, and for the other Arhatics, I saw people growing and strengthening things, building a character, developing even potentialities that I didn't even think that we can develop as adults now. Because as kids, you have plenty of potentialities, and maybe from the learning or whatever, you can develop some better than others. But as an adult, we usually do not expect to be able to develop so much new things, new levels of understanding, new levels of building our character, feeling, controlling and expressing our emotions, and even to serve. Then that very practical spirituality was a clear point for me, for my life, and for my path. I started teaching also after a few months after my first Pranic Healing course. But I start also asking, how can we implement this with kids? How can we translate this? Because of course, Arhatic Yoga is for adults. It is mean for adults because we have to do a consciousness, a conscious work about ourselves. But by trying to put that in their development, first of all, because Arhatic Yoga was the thing that really gave me the understanding of what holistic human being means. Because we can put together the physical, the energetical, the emotional, the mental, and the spirituality dimensions all together. If you look in psychology or education, you have different paths, not like different approaches, from behavior to learning, or even unconscious, how unconscious build your behavior and affect your life. But none of them got the whole human being. And we are human beings with all these dimensions. And not only these dimensions, but every one of them have certain faculties. For example, if we talk about the physical etherical, that part gives us the faculty to move, to do, but also to will. No, this is the will aspect manifested in us as human beings. Then the emotional is the faculty to feel, and to feel means to express our inside emotions, to relate with others, to connect with the world, to create also, even to be flexible in the mental aspect. And the mental aspect is all the possibility to think, from logical, analytical to abstract, even to transcendental mind. And then spirituality is like the logical development of all of this together, no? To transcend in the loving aspect, in the understanding, in the fulfillment of your purpose, of your connection with the higher something. And this is something that every human being is looking for. Then even from the point of view of psychology, that is an aspect that was missing, because it seems to be part of something else. No? Spirituality seems to be part not of the psychology, but something else. And putting that together was a completely shift in my professional path and in my searching in life. That's why I end up developing a little bit this way of bringing these principles to kids. Not the Arhatic Yoga itself, that is for adults, that is Master Choa work. But some things you can translate into the development. Once we understand that in our early years, we are developing the will, the feeling, and the thinking faculties, each one of them with a lot of certain skills, abilities, and especially inner forces. If we can understand a process, we can help that process to be guided in a better way, that if things are not happening there or not helping the process. And that was the point that was very different for me and gave me the opportunity to work with kids and with development of human being in a holistic way, from a completely different perspective from my experience from Hatha Yoga, and looking how this process to become arhatic means that we can prepare kids from the beginning with those inner forces. No? How do you develop the will? How do you develop to be clear, know where to go, how to set your limits, how to control yourself, how you develop your ability to manage emotions, but also to express and to use that emotions in a creative way, in a way that support and give impulse to your mind to development of the higher, lower and higher mind, how to develop the basis for the logical, analytical, abstract, higher mind. And everything is there. But I have to look it into the development of the kid on how to put the main stones to give those forces and give a little bit of more balance to that I am that is being developed, not that personality.
That's amazing, Anna Maria. Much what I wanted to hear from you. Could we ask you also to share a short story of your time with Master Choa?
Well, it was very nice and amazing to meet him. And I have a feeling that at the beginning, I just saw an incredible person putting all these theories together, and very, very slow. I was realizing how big he was as a guru, how deep were his teachings, because the more I saw him, the more I understood. It's like every time I saw him, I have like new levels opening in my understanding, in my comprehension of human being, of life, of myself, of what is all the things that we can reach if we practice this Arhatic Yoga. But the nicest thing was that he was completely personalizing all these very single things, all the virtues he teach us, all the ways he teaches, and how the thinking can be developed, how all these things. He was a perfect example of that. Then it was not only not easy, because it was very big for normal people to see this guru, this very special person, but at least was like, oh my God, it is real. It's not theoretical. It's not something that he is pointing to the stars, but we don't know how to reach there. He is the star himself. He is the sun itself. He was a perfect example. And every time in my life that I have a situation that I don't know how to go with and how to solve something, I always think, okay, what is Master teaching? What can Master will do in this case? And 90% of the time, I have a clear illumination of what to do, not from his teachings and from his example. That was very nice to see him as an example.
That is so beautiful. Do as I do, not do as I say. Which is can be quite paternalistic. I said, I'm here, you're below, just do as I say. So that's really lovely, Anna Maria. Thank you. And of course, very, very special. Of course, I have a vested interest as a parent to hear about how we can properly educate children, because in schools, well, at least schools in England, we don't have subjects on loving kindness or how to become a better world citizen. But in the syllabus of Arhatic Yoga, we have these in virtues and pillars in such a scientific way, because Master Choa Kok Sui, as I understand it, was a scientist and a researcher himself. But without further ado, let's hear from Master Marilag, who's also designed many children's programs. So, Master Marilag, Let's hear from you, please. You might need to unmute yourself there, Master Marilag.
All right, so okay. Okay, now. Okay. I'm surprised to find out that both Sumi and Anna Maria are both psychologists. I did not know that. It's a discovery, okay? But anyways, I'm a musician, but a retired musician. But when I went to Pranic Healing, all I want is to learn how to heal my three boys. They were young then, 6, 10, and 12. So when they have fever, I can just do Pranic Healing. I don't want to bombard them with Tylenol, aspirin, all these things, or Benadryl, whatever. So I wasn't interested much in the healing, only healing my boys. Okay, that's all. And then not knowing that, when you take chronic, you want to take the next one. You want to take the next one. But I cannot wait until the next one. Like I'm so hungry. I'm like voracious with the teachings. It's so simple. It's so interesting. So in a short time, pranic healing also has a spiritual arm, not just a healing arm. Oh, I like that. Glenn and I have been in search for since we were age 15 and 16. We were high school sweethearts, right? So we're going to one spiritual group after another spiritual group. So, okay, let's check this out. So it's not only healing arm, but they also have the spiritual arm. So I got into pranic healing, into Arhatic Yoga. That's the best part. If you see, I'm not comparing, but I'm saying, if you see healing modalities, they only heal. They don't have the spiritual arm. Or if it's a spiritual group, there's no healing arm, right? So we have both. And later on, I got into it more. There's also a prosperity course, and there's also a feng shui. I said, oh my gosh, the psychic defense crystal class, everything you need is here in the School of Pranic Healing. It's really, I would like a university of Pranic Healing. I want to have a university, all of these courses in, and you're going to be a complete person, right? Just in entering the door Pranic Healing. So when from a simple mother wanting a healing for my 3 little boys, ended up the speech, as Anna Maria had mentioned, the mental, the physical, emotional, everything is developed. The knowledge, the brain is really developed to a high degree, and the transformation, the emotional level, really amazing school. I remember Master Choa said, if you go into Arhatic Yoga, you don't need any other thing. If you're doing other things, you don't incorporate this. It's a complete system. It's a technology of the soul, really. It's a technology of the soul. It's the fastest way, I found out, it's the fastest way to achieve spiritual growth. I mean, we all belong to different religions, right? We have Christians, we have Muslims, we have Buddhists, we have Muslims, and all this, right? All our goal, everybody's religion the goal is to attain spiritual heights, to reach to the top of the mountain. If there's only one path, it's going to be a crowded path. So we have so many choices. People choose different choices. Whatever their vibration resonates with, they choose that path. So we all have this different paths. But I find that Arhatic Yoga is the fastest way to go up the mountain. It's like having a spaceship going directly. You don't have to bike, you don't have to hike, you don't have to crawl, you don't have to swim. It's just spaceship, you're there already. It's really very quick to spiritual growth. When you say spiritual growth, that means your energy. I mean, who's this? Anna Maria, and also you also mentioned about the spirit, right? Occupying this body. When you say spiritual growth, that means your light is growing bigger, bigger, and bigger, bigger. That's what talking about, the power, the inner power. The inner power is not the muscles, right? That's not the power we're talking about. It's about the energy that's what's inside and outside your body. If the inner power is big, you have inner power. That's where the will aspects develop, right? In Arhatic Yoga, that's all developed. We really, when we say spiritually grow, spiritually evolve, our energy bodies are really huge. That's why you feel like a Superman, a Wonder Woman. I can do anything, right? With the big energy. With the tiny energy, no, I feel insecure. I cannot do it. But you need energy. If I watch competitions, dances, I just watched Broadway show yesterday, Juliet, amazing, high-powered dancing, everything. My God, if I can imagine myself, I'm going to be huffing and puffing already. These young girls are very energetic, very shapely. I said, okay, all of this, they can do that because of energy. No energy, they cannot do all this high-powered dancing. So we need energy in everything that we do. I said, Arhatic will help you. The beauty of Arhatic or Pranic Healing, I'm a musician and you're a psychologist, and I'm sure a lot of these people came from different walks of life. It's for all. Whatever trade you do, whatever job you do, is for everybody. So I'm interested in learning more about the other speakers, what they do. Because we just meet and we then ask, what do you do? What did you do? Now I'm curious to know what you guys were doing before Pranic Healing. Okay?
Thank you, Master Marilag, for telling us Arhatic Yoga is for everyone, and to hear many people's backgrounds and myself. And in the last Energy Summit, we had many different professions. We had a professional sports person, medical, business coach as well. Master, as you mentioned, Arhatic Yoga is for everyone from any background. And that's helpful because you also mentioned that Master Choa Kok Sui talks about prosperity. He has a special course in prosperity, and it's taught in Arhatic Yoga as well. Well, I find that fascinating because, I mean, ethnically, I'm Indian as well and grew up in Asia. And in the Indian culture, we have this unwritten, or everyone around you sort of tells you that spirituality and prosperity is not compatible. If you want God, you can't have money. So how is this possible? Also, I find it fascinating that Master Choa Kok Sui took his last incarnation in a Chinese body. So, well, Malaysia is a very multicultural country, and Chinese people are generally, very money oriented in a positive way. And how is that he's also a spiritual teacher and he has prosperity, and you're coming to teach Arhatic Yoga in the UK? So please, can you enlighten us, prosperity and the compatibility with Arhatic Yoga?
This is what Master Choa had said, quote unquote. So you need two wings to fly, right? You have the Arhatic Yoga for spirituality, and you have the prosperity for material. So you have to take care of your body. You cannot live on spirit alone. You have to take care of your body. You have to have food. You have to have all this roof on top of it on your head. You have to have a car to work, right? So you have to develop your physical body, the action. Okay, you cannot just meditate, and expect the money to come. You cannot live on spirit alone. You have to have money to buy things that protect your body, that feed your body and everything. So I said, with these two wings, you can fly. You can fly where? To the spiritual heights, right? Some people work for money only. They forgot to develop the spirit. You need the spirit, which gives life to this body as well. You need energy, not just food, not just physical food. So the spirit, the Arhatic Yoga is the one that will develop the spirit. And you have to work also. You cannot, Master said, you cannot meditate on empty stomach. Okay, so no way, just meditating, no food, okay, no money, and two wings, okay.
That's really helpful to know it's compatible. And yes, and as we don't have to run to the mountains to do it, so we bring the principles of Arhatic Yoga and incorporate it as our speakers have shared. So thank you for that. Let us invite our third speaker, Master Marilag. We have Dr. Amir Hussain Hansari, who is also another senior pranic healing instructor and disciple of Master Choa Kok Sui. He is a researcher, a technology interpreter with over 2 decades in healing, teaching, as well as self-development. He was equally blessed to have met Master Choa in his last incarnation, and now teaches the work of Master Choa Kok Sui across Turkey, Iran, Cyprus, Kazakhstan, and many other countries. He has also done a lot of interpretation and translation work of Master Choa's writings and audios, and also research, which is much the need of the hour. So lots of clinical trials, both in twin hearts and cancer, as well as super brain yoga in children with ADHD. and he holds 4 university degrees. This really brought a smile to my face: a PhD in alternative medicine, master's in management information systems, as well as BSc in pure maths, like you, Master Marilag, and management information. So this is such a unique background to be able to bridge both science, technology, and the transcendental space. So this means Arhatic yoga is very compatible with a huge variety of backgrounds. So let us hear from Dr. Amir.
Thanks, Gordon. Atman Namaste, everyone. Atman Namaste, Master Malik. Thank you for having me here. I'm so happy to see all of you. Okay, so, well, about Arhatic yoga. First, it was very challenging for me because studying pure mathematics, information technology, my mind was very logical. So I could not believe like moving hands can heal bodies. And I always had fun doing healing on people because I was laughing myself, because I could not believe. And we had a simple technique in pranic healing, like 30-10, 30-10, cleansing, energizing. But since I was not able to feel the energies, I changed the technique to 1010, 1010 to make sure that each chakra is completely clean. So the only problem I had at that time was each healing was like 3 to 4 hours. But after doing like I think a month of healing on breast cancer, like 2-3 times a week, so it was disappeared. And I was wondering, is it really was breast cancer there, or is it the healing working? So it was always challenging. So after that, I went to the advanced course, psychotherapy course, and even for psychotherapy course, when they were explaining, okay, why people get psychological problems, I remember I was outside of the course laughing because when I start laughing, I cannot stop. I start crying and laughing. And at one point, Master Danny told me, whenever you finish laughing, please come back to the course. So it was I remember after I learned psychotherapy, I had a friend. I still have the friend, since he's still there. So he is Arhatic yogi now. And he was drinking, smoking, he was using drugs, everything. And after the pranic psychotherapy course, I just called him. I said, hey, I just learned something fun. I'm not sure if it's working or not. Why don't you come over to my place and we're going to try this on you? And he said, okay. And I said, look, nothing will happen to you because you are already out of order. So whatever I do, I don't think I can make it worse than what it is. So we did like 3-4 days healing on him and he stops everything. Then he started joining pranic healing courses and now he's Arhatic practitioner. I think he's level 2 Arhatic yogi now. And it was fun because I was trying to see, like I was saying, oh, why don't you try to smoke something? Don't you think you feel like you need to smoke now? And he was saying, no, I'm okay. So I was wondering always how these techniques work. So it was amazing to me. So that was the challenging part for me always, of having a logical mind. But later, what I like about Master Choa's teaching is it's very scientific. So it was very helpful for my mind, and I could understand things step by step. And from all of his teachings, from the time that he's doing prayer, like he's asking for light, love, power, and from the time that he's saying, okay, we have like the invisible light white, it's becoming green, blue, red, 3 main colors, it's creating white light. Then we have the Trinity in the Christianity. Then we have the 3 again gods, or let's say the quality of gods in Hinduism, in Islam, in Buddhism. So what I understand, these 3 main qualities like light, love, and power is actually the 3 main qualities within each of us. So in all the religions, we have sayings like God created the man in his image, or God gave breath into the human body. So we know that we are the essence of human beings are from the God. So we also have these three qualities within us: the light, love, and power, or intelligence, love, and power. And for example, maybe one person is more loving, one person is more intelligent, one person is more willful, right? So Arhatic Yoga helped me to understand these three. And I understood that the main mission of the soul on this planet is to balance these three qualities within us. And I think Arhatic Yoga, a true practicing of the pillars and the virtues that we have there, is a great tool which help you to balance these three main qualities within you. That's my understanding so far. So I'm not sure if it's right or not, but that's how I understand it.
That's really, really helpful, Amir, and a really entertaining opening as well, which was much like Master Choa. He's quite a funny man, I hear. Perhaps you can also share an insight of your moments with Master Choa Kok Sui.
Sure. I think it was 2006 in July or June. I'm not sure which month. I went for the first time to have a course with Master Choa in United States with Master Choa, right? And I was very new to their organization, so I didn't know anyone. I just knew Master Choa because I met him before, and nobody else. So when Master Choa saw me in the course, so he asked me to go and sit on the front row. And those 5 days of the courses, he was taking care of me. It was amazing. You know, he was very down to earth, very humble. All the lunch, dinners, we were staying in the same hotel. He was inviting me. Even he was serving me food. I was so shy, you know. And one time at lunch, he said, okay, so he was asking me how are my studies going? What am I doing now? So did I finish my master's? He was interested in all of those. And it was that point that he asked me to develop, we didn't have mobile applications at that time. So to develop a computer system for the pranic healers and Arhatic yogis around the world. So actually, that's why the pranichealers.com was created in 2008 after he asked me to do. And I prepared like lots of paperwork. I shared with him around 200 pages. And I remember at one time he studied all the 200 pages and he was marking on them and he was asking me questions. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? So in one of those meetings, he also said, okay, you are teaching in Iran and Cyprus now. Why don't you teach in Turkey? And you know, I was studying and I was teaching assistant in university, and I didn't have really time to also think about another country. And so I had to come up with an excuse, right? So the best excuse I had, I said, Master, you know, I don't speak Turkish. So he was very upset with my answer. He said, do you think language is your limitation? No, you need to do this. And then I said, okay, so if you really want me to go, why don't you bless me? And I kneeled in front of him and he blessed me. And I don't know what happened. 3 days after that blessing, I was standing in Taksim Square in Istanbul, looking around. And I said, okay, I'm here. What should I do now? And I had no contact. I didn't know anybody there. And I was just there, you know. So for 3, 4 days, I was just going to the nearby Starbucks, sitting there, looking at people, didn't know what to do. And if you remember, before in Starbucks stores, they had these boards and they had the advertisements on the boards. So one day I saw an advertisement of a yoga place on the board. And I just found out it's just few meters away from the Starbucks place. So I walked there and I saw that there were two ladies talking to the owner of the place, and it was a Reiki healer did healing on them, and she was not happy, something like that. So I asked them, I said, okay, why don't you let me try to do healing on you? They had back pain. One of them had back pain. And I did a healing for her, and she was healed. And then the owner said, oh, where did you come from? What are you doing? I said, I'm here to teach pranic healing, but I don't know how. And I'm looking for organizers. And she said, can I organize healings for you? Because they are very happy now. I said, sure. So for a few days, I think 2-3 days, she organized many healings for me, and many people came for healings. They had good results. And the same weekend, we had the first basic course in Istanbul with over 35 people. And after the course on Monday, I called Master Choa. I never forget. I said, Master Choa, what you asked happened, and we had he immediately asked me how many students, and I said more than 35. And it all happened in less maybe less than 10 days. And so what I want to say is, if you trust in your teacher, so you can move mountains. So that was what also I learned through Arhatic Yoga. So that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. That's priceless, especially coming from someone who's very mental with so many university degrees, also balancing all the other things that you were doing in life to just trust. This must be from the teachings of Arhatic Yoga and the blessings of the teacher. So let us hear from Master Marilag, who's also a mathematician and very mental. Master Marilag.
You got it. I'm also very mental, and also did not feed the energy in my basic class. So I keep on analyzing. Is it maybe it's here? Too much questioning, too much analysis won't work. So I practiced for 3 months every day to make sure I get. Once I got it though, I made it even better when I was with Master Choa on the plane. Somehow we had the same flight going to the Brazil convention, Pranic Healing convention, and it was next to me, and only an aisle separating us. So when you're with the teacher, the energy is heightened, the sensitivity is heightened. Things you cannot feel before, when he's in his aura, amazing, right? You become a better healer, you can be better scanner, you can do magic, right? So I took advantage of that. So first, the hand, I got the hand, and then I got the fingertips, and then later on, I was able to scan with my thumb and my forefinger. When Master was there, okay, I said, "Oh, this is it." When Master said, "Oh, is it a yes or so no?" I can easily do that. But because of his presence, I became very confident with my healing. I know he's there, and even though he's not there anymore, I know he's always with us. The spirit remains. The body left, the body was cremated, but I know the spirit is with me. So I connect to him, and I always feel with my finger. So tell me, no, do you have this addiction? No, I don't. Yes, it's a yes, it's a yes. Don't lie to me. Okay. It's very, very amazing to develop your skills. And I'm amazed at how your patience in healing 1,010, my goodness, 1,010, 1,010. I've never heard someone heal that long, 4 hours per patient. Yes. I think Master Choa saw your dedication, your perseverance. That's why he assigned you this. Master has a knack for knowing who to choose. He saw something in you. That's why he made you do that. Whatever he assigned you, he knew you can do it. And you performed well. You passed the test. Master has a way of testing his disciples, and you passed whatever test he gave you. Bravo for you. Bravo for you. Opening a place with no contact, nothing. You just went there because you trusted the teacher. And once you trust the teacher, you follow his orders, you're going to produce miracles. Okay? Congratulations. Thank you for sharing the story. I did not know the story.
Thank you.
Okay. 10,000, 1,010. My goodness. Okay. Anyway, it did not take me an hour, even though I did not feel anything. I'm not going to go that far. Not even an hour. 4 hours. I salute your patience.
That's an insightful summary also for someone who's very mental. Well, at least if I speak for myself, usually not so patient. So Dr. Amir, you're incredibly patient and also resonates or calls out the teachings of Master Choa Kok Sui because he, as Master Marilag explained, in every pranic healing course, we start off by saying you're not obliged to believe anything you said. And one of our first speakers, Madam Sumi, explained that the use of intelligent evaluation or discernment. So you use that to your advantage and your background. You experimented with 1,000 to 10 and validated for yourself. And Master Choa doesn't get angry. He's not one of those teachers, right? Says try it and validate for yourself. So speaking of validation, Master Marilag, you mentioned this technique, pranic healing, and earlier you told us also that pranic healing is a school that not just teaches you healing modalities, it has the transcendental or the spiritual arm. So why, Master Marilag, is pranic healing a prerequisite to learn Arhatic Yoga?
Okay, basic pranic healing is the framework, the ground for. One time we were offering a prosperity course called Shakti, and it was only like, I don't know how much that time, maybe $500. It was very underpriced for what you get, for the bar you get. And there's this businessman trying to call the center repeatedly. I want to take the Shakti course without passing to the basic pranic healing course because it's a prerequisite. Now they don't want to take the basic. Again, I'm gonna pay triple. No, they offer more. I'm gonna pay more, and then because they're very insistent attending the Kriya Shakti course, Master Choa happened to be here. I said, Master, does this guy wanting to take a Kriya Shakti with no basic pranic healing? And I said, you see why we require basic pranic healing in all the courses, because without interest in healing, that means there's no heart. We want somebody who has a heart, developed heart, so that when they learn these advanced techniques, advanced courses, they don't misuse it. Okay, they can misuse that techniques of Kriya Shakti for their own greediness or whatever. So okay, so no, said when they call again, definitely no, don't allow them. Even they pay us 10 times, okay? It's not about the money, it's about the power of the techniques, okay? If you misuse it. We don't want people to misuse the techniques. And same in Arhatic Yoga. We have no book, we have no manual on Arhatic. This is our supposed to be oral teaching, not textbook teaching. As so many secrets of deep teachings that we really, I mean, if it's misused by other people who don't know the principle, who don't know the explanation of each technique, it's not good for them. That's why we screen them. You have, make sure you're not taking drugs, you make sure you're not hallucinating during the class. So make sure you're in proper mind order and more or less healthy. Because when you connect to God and the spirit is so powerful, you might be in this array. But so far, we haven't seen anyone fall yet. Okay? No one. So far, everybody said, we want to make sure it's powerful and it's safe. That's Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. All the courses are very powerful, but it's safe. I'm going to share for Master Choa to make sure it's safe. He actually experimented all these teachings that he's teaching us, experimented to himself. All the levels, he did it himself. And according to Master Daphne, I wasn't there. Master Daphne was the first employee of the World Pranic Healing Foundation. Because it's too powerful, he was developing hives. He was developing hives with the techniques. So he was able to adjust the techniques so everybody will take it without developing those hives. Okay. So don't be scared. It's not gonna give you the hives. He already took it. So for us, it's safe. Okay. Powerful, very powerful.
Thank you, Master Marilag. And absolutely, safety was at the forefront of Master Choa's mind. And yes, we're eternally grateful that he used his own body as a laboratory. But then we're blessed to have these teachings today. So without further ado, let us bring the next speaker on, which is Miss Scarlett Mendoza, one of the very blessed Mendoza family members to have met Master Choa Kok Sui in person. And she was also a pranic healing instructor from the United States. She was in the corporate sector herself in Wall Street, so another person who finds these teachings compatible. And that's when she found her way into the School of Pranic Healing. She also has a master's in early childhood education. She set up and is the president of the nonprofit organization Friends in Need. And she's been in this school and teachings for more than 3 decades. So welcome, Scarlett, and to talk to us on service and tithing, which is one of the pillars in Arhatic Yoga.
Thank you for unmuting me. Welcome, everybody. And it's a pleasure and honor to be here and share you my experiences in Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. Just briefly, how I started in Pranic Healing. I have this brother and sister-in-law that had organized a workshop at their home, and it happened to be around 4th of July weekend. And in the US, 4th of July weekend is a big weekend to go to the beach. At that time, I was living in New York. I'm in California now, but at the time, New Yorkers, especially living in the city, we all had to go out away from the city and out to the beach. So everyone rents or whatever, goes to a beach house or goes to the beach during 4th of July weekend. So my brother said, hey, come over this weekend. I organized a workshop, it's about healing. Just come over. Didn't give me any kind of details. He just said healing. I said, well, I'm already committed to go to the beach, so I'm not going to be able to make it. Sorry, but maybe next time. Okay. So Friday night, go out to the beach house, and the energy felt different. It was like everyone started arguing and just fighting, and the energy wasn't good in the evening. And I said, what's going on here? I wanted to have a relaxing 4th of July weekend, a holiday weekend, but I don't understand what's happening here. Anyway, long story short, I didn't want to be there. And I called my brother. I said, okay, I'll be at your class tomorrow. And this was like one of the super hot days in the summer. So they're in New Jersey, not near the beach, and it was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was very hot. Anyway, I went, and I haven't turned around since. So, things happen for a reason, and sometimes we resist. It's like, what's going on here? But once we let go and just flow, it's usually something good for us happening. So that's how I started. And from that point on, that was in July, Master Choa came to New York for the first time. And this was back in 1994? Yeah. And first time to go to New York with his workshop, one after another. Was it crystal healing, psychic self-defense? It was just like a whole slew of energy. And it was all so new to me. I didn't know I was just absorbing things, but it just felt like home. It just felt so comfortable. It just felt right for me. And I kept going. So here we are 30 years later. I'm still going. So I appreciate and super grateful that I was able to meet Master Choa in person and have been able to spend time with him. And he was able to bless. I got engaged when he was around when I got engaged. He was around when I got married. He was around when I had my first child. So, and I'm super grateful for that. But so that's my short little background, how I started in Pranic Healing. But my focus actually that I wanted to share with you guys is in Arhatic Yoga. One of the pillars in Arhatic Yoga is service, actually service and tithing. So pillars means like a foundation, right? So it's a pretty important part. Back in 2001, Master Choa said to pretty much everybody during the workshops, wherever he traveled to, he goes, go do feeding program, go start a feeding program. So the ones who listened, he gave instructions, at least here in the US, the instructions he gave was, go buy some burgers or sandwiches at McDonald's, buy some juices or whatever drinks and hand them out. So we're like, well, that's kind of too simple, too easy. But anyway, so living in New York City, I kind of knew where the area, it did some research, but kind of knew the area where there's homeless or where there are people who could use the food. So we go over there, I bought 25 sandwiches, and walking around Tompkins Square Park. This is downtown New York City on the Lower East Side. Walking around, and we were literally like looking for people to feed. So we're handing out to people at the park. So 2 weeks later, same thing. We did the same thing, going around the park. But a month afterwards, where we start at the park, there were people lined up already. So which was surprising, because we were the ones looking for people, and I guess they realized, oh, they're here seems like they're here coming Saturdays. They started lining up, and with Master's instructions, buy the stuff, buy the sandwiches, buy the burgers, hand out the drinks. By the second month of doing the feeding program consistently, there were 200 people lined up. So it was a bit overwhelming, but they saw that we were consistent in being there, and so they all lined up. And the good thing about the way Master Choa's instruction is, you're able to help people. You do service. You fulfill your one of the pillars in Arhatic Yoga. You fulfill the service, and you help people in such a short period of time. It was so efficient that you're able to feed 200 people in 45 minutes or an hour. I thought that was really cool. And that system still works up to now. So in New York City, we started back in 2000. I think eventually we officially started in 2002. And, so 22, 23 years later, it's still going on every Saturday. And the best part of it is that when you're consistent, when you have other people in mind, there's a lot of things happening. You also get healing when you do service. What did Master? One time Master instructed. He said, make sure you bring that guy to the feeding program. I said, okay. During that time, this person was going through depression. So when we asked him, hey, can you come help us? We could use the help. And he was like, sure, I'll help. And within that short period of time of helping people, he actually was able to get out of his depression. And I asked him, it's like, how do you feel? And he was like, for the first time, I actually thought outside of myself. Instead of thinking about all his problems and what's depressing him, he actually had a smile on his face, I feel good. It's the first time that he was able to get out of that rut. So there's also a healing part in service and tithing, but for me, I look at it as an investment. So doing service and tithing is depositing quite a bit of stuff into your karmic bank account. So when there are challenging times for us, whether it's health, financial, emotional, whatever it is, when our karmic bank account is filled up, the help always comes. There's always help that's there. So even though kind of we dip down a little bit, when we do service tithing, that helps us to bring ourselves back up. So Master Choa's teachings is very priceless. It's a way of life. We don't just do service. Yes, we do service because it's the right thing to do, but we also do service because it's the smart thing to do. Because we know that it benefits us in so many ways, whether it's by healing or financial gain, feeling good, feel fulfilled, right? So, that's the one of the things, here in the US, right? We had Thanksgiving in November and we have Christmas. So our organization's usually busy around this time. So we usually end the year, even though we're busy, but feel very fulfilled. We handed out toys for kids, underprivileged kids. We gave food bags to families. We gave in the East Coast, because good thing we gave it before all the snow happened. So they all have their winter accessories. But at the end, we keep to the simple instructions that Master Choa said, and it works all the time. So I appreciate the being able to contribute and continue to do so to the community.
Thank you so much, Scarlett. What a beautiful sharing and changing the world one step at a time, starting with ourselves. And as you mentioned, one of the foundations or the pillars of the teachings of Arhatic Yoga, I find that very reassuring, because when I hear the word yoga, as some of the inquiries has come in for the participants who have signed up for Master Marilag teaching in October, asked if they need to be a bit bendy and flexible. So, well, no, we have other pillars in Arhatic Yoga. So thank you for sharing that. So let us invite this family member of yours, Master Marilag, to give some comments. Thank you.
So this is the family member. It's me. Okay. But anyway, I'm glad you mentioned one of the pillars in Arhatic is service. Serve the world, serve people, help people, be there to help others. That's very important aspect of Arhatic Yoga. Why? Even tithing, giving a part of your money, part of your income. Service is giving a part of your energy, of your time, right? So you need an outlet. You cannot just inhale energy. You cannot just inhale. If there's no outlet, you're gonna explode. You need to let go. You need to release some energy. And giving, helping, generously giving money, generously giving your time, generously giving your energy is needed to have a healthy inhalation, exhalation. The flow of life. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. This is very balanced. You're not gonna get super congested. I'm not putting down other modalities, but some people you can see in other groups, in books, some gurus are bedridden for a long time, right? They're bedridden. There's the effect of what you call over energized. Too much energy, no good. Lack of energy, no good. So both are no good. So remember, in basic clarity, sickness happens when you have too much energy or no energy. So when you say you're sick, you're not feeling well, because there's imbalance. So too much is no good. So that's when you inhale so much, no good. So this service and tactic is your insurance to make sure you have a good weight climbing up the ladder of spirituality. And there is Scarlett mentioned about the person who's depressed. How that started when Master came to New Jersey. For some reason at that time, a lot of New Yorkers were depressed. I don't know why. I said, Master, that person's depressed. Why? I don't know, Master, when he's depressed. That person is depressed. I'm pointing to Master, who are the people depressed in the center. You know what to do? No, Master. Establish a feeding program. And then the feeding program, when they make them buy even $2, $5, make them buy the food from McDonald's, it's coming from their own money, and let them hand the food to the homeless. So, okay, because when it comes from their hand and they see the joy of the people receiving, it makes them happy. And so, okay, Master. So I give this schedule, the instructions to be the feeding program. And through whatever Scarlett shared, is true. They change, the energy change when they see other people less fortunate than them. They're so into themselves. There's so much, oh no, look at me, poor me. But when they see these homeless people less than them, they feel better. They feel so good being in making other people happy. And that's why until now, those who need a friend who need to do something, join the feeding program, and they really get healed. The joy. And they shared it during the Arhatic retreats. When you're an Arhatic Yoga graduate, we have annual retreats in different parts of the world. You're free to go, travel. If you want to see the world, join the Arhatic and join the different retreats all over the world. And in those retreats that we had in New Jersey, those who joined the feeding program, they shared how they felt. Everybody, 100%, felt good after being part of the feeding program. Okay, that's the best prescription. Not Prozac, not all those downers or that will disarray your brain. Service, helping people, it makes the world better. Okay.
That reminds me. At the New Jersey retreat, because there's Prana Kids and Prana Teens program in New Jersey. So I take the teens to New York City, and that's part of their program. We take them to do the feeding program. So they're all excited, and it makes me happy actually when I ask, what's the highlight of your retreat with the teens, and they say, "Oh, going to New York, doing the feeding program." So that makes me happy. So we plant the seeds early enough, So that's kind of cool.
Thank you, Scarlett, and thank you, Master Marilag. That put a huge smile on my face for everything that you shared, even listening to that. So not only the impact of the people benefiting from the recipients and the donors, but for us listening as well. And of course, we don't have to believe that, as Master Marilag said, the validation tool of Pranic Healing helps us validate that our heart is expanding listening to your story. And I thought this was already wonderful listening to all our speakers today and how Arhatic Yoga is this adult school, because we missed out on many of these things, at least when we were in the traditional education system. But to hear that in as Master Marlik says, after you learn Arhatic Yoga, we can travel the world. It's a passport to these different retreats. And thank you for sharing, Scarlett, that there's the kids program as well in New Jersey. That's wonderful. So our children can enter, and these are the future generation, the future presidents, the future post people, the future, food, everything. So this is great news. So without further ado, well, first of all, I want to humbly request all the audience time and all your speakers, especially Master Marilag, we are over time, and we have one more speaker who is almost at midnight in India. So I hope it's okay for all of you to stay a little bit. Of course, if you need to leave, don't worry. The session is recorded and it will be hosted later on YouTube for your viewing. So without further ado, let me introduce our final speaker here. We have Mr. Madhimaran from India, and he has been in pranic healing almost 3 decades as well, and was very blessed to have met the teacher himself. He is a senior instructor and disciple of Master Choa Kok Sui, and serving now as a managing trustee in the Pranic Healing Trust of Tamil Nadu. For the last 6 years, he travels and teaches in many countries, of course, in India, in Singapore, in China, and Hong Kong, but also has taught in Indonesia, Brunei, Nepal. And one of the things I found quite interesting is whenever Madhi sir traveled to teach, he's one of his families has a family business, and the family business would prosper every time Madhi sir went around teaching Master Choa Kok Sui's work. Well, perhaps he will share with us more stories. Without further ado, let us give the floor to Madhi sir.
Thank you, Gauri. Thank you, Master Madlik. A small correction, I'm not the managing trustee right now. That was many years before. Okay. My experience, first time when I met Grandmaster in a Pranic Healing convention. At the time, after the session, Master will walk through the aisle and people will queue up to have a glimpse of him, almost like queue up there. One such opportunity when I was peeping like that up in the queue, I had an opportunity that Master was blessing people. When I peeped up, he just touched my head. Then I felt like, wow, that was very, very different. I felt almost like being electrocuted there. I stood there for a long time. Many people have walked out, and I was the only one probably standing there. People have left the place. I still felt the energy pouring down. That was, at that time, I had learned basic and advanced only during that time. And I was not very energy sensitive at the time. But then when Grandmaster touched the head, that was like magical moment for me. And from that day onwards, I kept following the teacher wherever there were classes happening in India. We used to travel and have a lot of benefits from that. I basically joined Pranic Healing to help my mother, who was suffering from rheumatoid arthritis at the time. And she was going through severe emotional pain also, because we have just left. We lost our father at the time. So she was going through psychological trauma based on he leaving the body. So that complicated the case, actually. So for almost 8 years, She was suffering from severe pain, and we tried all kinds of modalities and could not get any benefit. At the time, accidentally, we went into Pranic Healing Center, and I was not, because I was doing business at the time, and so I just could not believe somebody can heal without touching, because we have tried all modalities, including acupuncture, acupressure, tape treatment center from Australia, and many things like that. So when my friend forced us to, take the session, one session at least to try, I was surprised in the very first session. I could feel my, my, I have to lift my mother using my hand. Uh, and I found that she could get up from the chair without much effort from me. That was really surprising for me. And the grip she had on my hand was tighter than before. Earlier, she used to drop glasses and break it because she could not hold the glass even. But that time after the healing, when she could hold my hand, I was surprised actually. And I went there to get healing from the healers there regularly, and it had a big difference. And also in one session, I also had an opportunity to take healing for myself. In fact, I fainted there in that particular healing center, and they brought me up without touching. So that's when I believed pranic healing works. And then when I learned basic pranic healing on the very first day, when I went home, I tried healing on my mother. And after that, I did not take her to the healing center. I healed her fully. And uh, and the doctor who was handling her was very surprised because her leg mobility was impossibly better than what they could promise. She could even fold her legs. She could climb one story up when she was not able to raise her legs 6 inches before. So that really changed my life actually when my mother got better. And for me, when I learned pranic healing, I used it predominantly for my business actually. To my, to me, pranic psychotherapy and achieving oneness with the high soul is the key highlight of Master Choa's teaching, because it made me realize that I am capable of making my own choices. I understood free will completely differently after I learned these two programs. Because in pranic psychotherapy, Master taught us that thoughts are things and can be touched. Of course, it is invisible, but then it's more like an energy that can be felt very clearly. And he taught us technique to disintegrate these thoughts. And achieving oneness gave me access not just to know me as a soul, but experience myself as a being, as a soul. So these two combinations made my healing exceptionally powerful. Then the next question is, why then go to Arhatic Yoga when these two can already fix majority of the problems? That's when I learned, many people, when they do business, not all of them go to the top high level. And there are certain specific companies which stay on top, like the first 500 Fortune companies, if we study them very carefully. They were doing things, products, manufacturing, or giving services for the welfare of people. And they were tithing a lot, huge amount of money from what they learned to stay on top. So the companies who were making money for themselves, they were living for themselves. And there were companies which were, even now, if you look at it, the companies which stay really on top are serving the needs of people. It's not about you anymore, it's about others. And that's when I thought Arhatic Yoga makes a big difference, because it's not about helping myself anymore, it's just for other people also. So the more we help other people, the more we get benefited. And I could see this very clearly in my life, because When I learned pranic healing, I healed myself. I used it for my business to understand my customers, bless people to get what I want. My collections, my orders were increasing at the time. I was healing me and my mother only. My business was growing at a certain level at the time, but not until when I applied for higher levels and they rejected me for not helping other people. In fact, my managing trustee told me, if you never healed other people, if you never brought any other person to pranic healing, why would you want to learn more? I said, I just want to grow spiritually. He said, you can help yourself, heal yourself with these courses. Why do you want to go more? That was a shocker for me. So initially, for my benefit to get into higher levels, I started, promoting classes, healing people. It's more selfish from my perspective. But then I realized when I started doing that fabulously, without, beyond my mind's ability to question that, I could see results in my business blooming. I go out to teach, come back, open up a new area, come back, and I have my brothers telling me new orders have come, a stagnated payment has been released, and many good things happen. And it just not once or twice, it's over and over and over again. And I was not doing anything different, just the meditation, the healings, and then the practices. But then when I started adding, helping other people or promoting pranic healing, making lives of other people better, then that changed the way I did business. In fact, money was really coming into the system. That's also that also made me connect to the formula of why certain companies stay on top over and over again. They serve people. They manufacture products which are helpful for people. They help people by giving money, and they stay on top. And what I realized was in Arhatic Yoga, it's just not helping other people, but then generating those powerful thought forms. So which means a person has to have clarity of intention if they have to do business or have a good relationship or have a clear uh, good health. The clarity should be fantastic, which means the negative thought forms, subconscious negative programming in the mind about money, about any kind of anxiety or fear in relationship has to be destroyed. And this program, in this program, Arhatic preparatory level, Grandmaster gives us amazingly fabulous technique to erase our unwanted negative thought pattern, pull out those subconscious negative programming that is stuck in the aura and chakras, clean it up. So that gives clarity in my mind to focus on what I want and not get distracted. Another thing is that the most important thing which I thought was the belief system that you can do it. That comes basically from the heart. And the kind of meditation practices Master puts in place was so beautifully sinking in to activate the heart, make it exceptionally different, meaning clarity of intention with firmness or clarity in belief, that makes the thought form really powerful. But then it still needs energy to physicalize. So our Hatha Yoga really balances everything. I've also heard people say, they're finding it difficult to balance spirituality, uh, you know, materialistic life in business, and then their family life. What I understood from our Hatha Yoga is that we don't have 3, 4 boxes in our life. We have one life and one thought process. Those energies are the same, whether you distribute it in the family or the business or for your spiritual development. That made a huge difference in my life. So the ability to multitask became easier and fabulous because we don't have to live in boxes like you have to, focus exceptionally on business or exceptional on family life, or you have to leave all this to do spirituality. That was never the case in Arhatic Yoga because The teacher focuses on developing certain specific pillars for us, which blend all this and make us bring down the energy of the soul to an extent that our thought forms become exceptionally powerful, and it becomes very clear with the kind of purification techniques. And all this, the teacher puts an emphasis on helping people, not just yourself. So that makes a big difference in the way we do business. It's not just about making money for you and your family. It's about bringing a product that serves you. Even if you're doing it for your own personal life, making money for your family, the teacher would say a portion of it, you make sure you think that it's not your money, but it's money given by God to give it to other people. So that concept was fantastic for me. That was fabulous because you plant seeds and then harvest it, like Master Marilag when she said, uh, you have to inhale and exhale to live a healthy, happy life. It's just not make money for yourself, but then you share. So this is a blend. It's a beautiful blend uh, of making somebody an exceptionally good person. So I thought Arhatic Yoga is about making people better, a good person. And the concept of spirituality, Master defines it in a way that it's not about just doing meditation or going to temple or churches or doing bhajans as we do in India. It's about understanding that you're the soul, a being of light, love, and power, having a body and subtle bodies, and living on earth as a soul. So that concept changed everything in my head. It's not about meditation and going to temples and churches. It's about being a portion of God, living on physical plane. That make me connect beautifully well to the concept of what Lord Christ brought in. God physicalized, living as a man and creating all the demos for us to see and live. Our Hatha Yoga is so beautifully made in a way that any person who does not even believe in God will be able to accept the concept of what God means and what energy of God can bring to us. It's like, to me, it's like a way of life. It changed many things in my life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, there's an echo.
Tell us.
I might ask you to mute again. Sorry, Mati, sir.
If that's okay.
No, sure.
Let's see if this has resolved the issue. Thank you. Thank you so much for your inspirational talk. Even though you were somewhat electrocuted, that didn't put you off, but that showed you that Master Choa Kok Sui was a normal and not so normal. He was super normal person, and that didn't detract you. And to hear that you were able to, is it correct that you were able to cure your mother of an autoimmune condition, rheumatoid arthritis? Oh, sorry, I've muted you, haven't I? Because as a doctor, and I know you have two daughters who are doctors as well, that's unheard of. Yeah.
Yeah. For 8 years, she went through severe pain. When I was traveling for my business, I could, when she picks up the call, and when the tone, was like, I cannot express it because when she speaks with pain, it literally dragged me back home, actually. I would have traveled 400 kilometers, just got down in the place just to hear the voice of pain, and would have taken the, transport back to the city. And which means my ability to do business was crippled. I could not help her. And when we lost our dad, and she's our only source of joy for our family, and we have seen her as such a lovely, kind, helpful person. And we did not understand law of karma at the time because we've seen her help, happy, helpful to all people on earth at the time. And she was the one suffering more. So it was really, really difficult for us to handle it. There was a time when we really have to literally take her to the restroom, lift her up and take her. She was really crippled at the time. And from there, I'm telling you, when I learned pranic healing, I did not take her back to the center. I was the one who did all the healing for her. And to me, that was really sweet, because what made me look at Grandmaster in a completely different way out of gratitude was when I could see the smile in my mother's face. I could see her move, climb stairs, attend my, brother's wedding and things like that. Those are special moments. I wouldn't have got that without my teacher. That was like sweetest part of my life.
That is really,
That is
really
really,
special.
really special.
Sorry, I'm going to
Sorry, I'm
unmute
going to
you here.
unmute you here.
Yeah, that's extremely well, as they say, miracle. It's a miracle, and that is the title of Master Choa's first book, Miracles Through Pranic Healing. So this is priceless, because from a medical background, that's quite unheard of, and the only rare, extremely rare stories that you hear is people who are very prayerful. But here we have, at the wave of a hand, we're able to also do that. So even though you had what you originally perhaps thought as a selfish motive to learn pranic healing for yourself, turns out the teacher was light years ahead of us, who saw this as our limitation is not the limitation of the teacher, whereas what we viewed as priceless then is selfish was actually selfless. Do unto others what you'd like done unto yourself. And as you then spread the teachings by applying pranic healing to other people, your entitlement to climb the ladder, the Arhatic ladder, as you described, was also rewarded. And what I also loved, I mean, you shared many things, but that you were applying pranic healing, I suppose, directly on your business, because you can apply pranic healing to more than just human bodies, but also the indirect benefit. So I guess that was perhaps for my years, and maybe many of us in the audience, to do the work of the teacher, and you will be rewarded also your business and prosperity and your family members' health. So incredible teaching. And let us hear from Master Marilag. Master Marilag, are you able to unmute?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mati, for sharing that you're applying energy work and Arhatic yoga techniques, whatever, or pranic healing techniques into your business, and that it helps your business to be growing. I have to mention that not only Master Choa is our spiritual teacher, but he's also an MBA graduate. And because of his knowledge and energy, business people in India, a gathering of long table, and then Master Choa invited me and Glenn to join the table. I have no clue why we're there. I just was next to the person I met that time. And 2 years later, I saw him in actually Sumi's wedding. I saw him in that wedding, Sumi and Ami's wedding. I said, "Oh, you're here. Your name is this, right?" Because she was the one next to me. So, can I ask what that meeting was for? I don't know why Master invited me and Glenn and not the other acharyas, and that we're eating in the hotel lobby, tables and tables, and he took the two of us. I said, "What are we doing here? We don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand what it's about." So I clarified with that guy. I said, "Oh, can I ask you, tell me what that meeting was about? I met you there. I don't know what the meeting is." And he said, all these businessmen in India, the rich people there, they were asking Master for an advice how to improve the business. They're all losing money. And that person next to me said he was losing $30,000, US dollars, not rupees. Oh, okay. And then he told us what to do. These people who are losing in business, and how's business now? He was like so, oh, we're now up $60,000 from minus 30 to plus 60,000. So that means 90,000 up. So good for you. So I was running away. Thank you for sharing. And then I went back. I said, "Can you tell me what Master Choa?" That's one of those MBA techniques, because it's an MBA graduate. "Can you tell me what Master Choa told you to do?" I said, "Service and tithing and meditation and twin hearts." That's why I said meditation and twin hearts opens your heart, and the sharing, the two important pillars in Arhatic is service, help others. As you help others, you are helped, right? You said that. As you help others, you are being helped. So I said, I'm so busy in business, I don't have time to meditate. So I asked my wife to meditate, and I do that tithing. I mean, he knows the money aspect. So I said, so I used to continue the tithing. are you kidding me? I will never stop typing. So he's just to that 10%, 30%. He continued that, and business is going up still. Okay. So thank you for sharing that about application of energy. And I remember Sumi's husband also, Amit. I remember when he was applying for higher levels in Arhatic Yoga, the first entry point is Arhatic Prep. That's a foundational teaching. And as you upgrade your energy, as you increase your energy, you can apply for higher levels. Arhatic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 6 only. And at that time, Amit was the first application. I mean, everything is checked. We have that booklet to check what meditation you've done. So a lot check. I said, my God, can you do this? Okay. How can you do this with all your busy? He manages, I think, 2 or 3 hotels that time. And he said, are you kidding me? Without my practice of Arhatic, I'm not going to be able to do all these business deals. The reason why I can do this is because of the energy I get from Arhatic. So you need the energy from Arhatic to be able to have the energy to do your business. Okay. So that's why I learned from both of you, from Amit is not here, but it's really an important aspect that you have the energy aspect to be successful. Anything that you do, not just business, in your relationship, in your career, everything is about energy. And this is the place where to get it. Arhatic Yoga is the place, the source for energy. Okay. And another one that I love in Arhatic, you said your favorite psychotherapy in achieving oneness, is where you learn your spiritual anatomy. A lot of people don't know. No, they just know the body, they just know the exercise, they know they do makeup, they know they do the hair and everything, taking care of the vitamins, the body, but they don't know the anatomy of the spirit, right? So we know the different levels, the different grades until you reach God. That's very important to connect to the source with all the transformers down to adjust to your energy level. So I like that spiritual anatomy. And I like what you said also, you understand more your religion. I am a Catholic, so supposedly practicing, but not quite. But learning Arhatic Yoga and Master Choa teaching all these different religions, showing the similarities of all the different religions is a biggie for me. Instead of showing the differences, we show that there's only one God with different messiahs, whatever, and different same God, right? Who's in charge of the whole thing. And we connect to that one God, no matter what your religion is very important to know. And I became more, I won't say religious, no, because I understand my religion more, my Catholicism more. And yet I also know Buddhism, I also know Hinduism. I embrace all religions. So I'm not confused. I know what I want. I know what I am and what I want to, who I want to invoke. Okay. So it's nice to embrace all religions. Because not only Catholics are the chosen ones, everybody's chosen, right? As long as you follow. For us, in the olden times, they followed the life of Jesus. Here now we follow Master Choa. He is a very good example for us to follow. He reached that level, so we want to follow that path that Master had traversed. Okay, so thank you for all you sharing, and also for the family. As Scarlett said, I have the prana kids and prana teens. That's a wonderful thing. I never, with the prana kids or prana teens included in the retreats, you don't feel like you're neglecting your family. You bring your kids, so you say, oh, I feel guilty meditating here, and my kids are home alone. Now, when my kids were little, I brought them to all events. All 3 of them, I brought them to wherever Master was. We followed Master, and I did not feel guilty neglecting them. Okay, so if you have kids, don't fear. You can meditate, you can spiritually grow, and the kids are with you. Okay, that's the beauty of prana kids and prana teens. They part of the prana kids. They grow, they become teens, and then they become full-grown adults. Wonderful, with the teachings of Master Choa inculcated in them at a young age. They grow naturally, bloom. They really bloom. Wonderful. Okay, so this is the only way to go, Arhatic way. Okay, so when is the class again, Gauri?
It's 24th and 25th of October, Master
I
Marilag.
thought it's 25, 26. Okay, October 24, 25. 2026. Not 2027. I think I'll be in Greece in 2027. Okay, so I hope I see you there. I hope I see you can bring your family, but of course they have to take basic advanced psychotherapy, right?
Yes,
And
Master.
if you are new, but if you're already a graduate basic advanced psychotherapy, you can join. Okay, we will all welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're looking forward to having Master Marilag for the first time in the UK teaching Master Choa Kok Sui's Arhatic Yoga. And it's also lovely to hear that the future generation and our children, without guilt, we can come and learn Arhatic Yoga. And we have the validation tools in the Pranic Healing to check that they are growing as well as we grow. So everybody grows. And it's wonderful that Amit that you share is a businessman and they own a chain of 5-star hotels. So even people of that level use spirituality and Arhatic Yoga, and it helps with their growth and selfless growth, as Mati sir shared, and their business is growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And Master Marilag, we are over time, but please, if you wouldn't mind, please can you help us close 2025, thanking 2025 for all that it brought us, and a short meditation to welcome and bless our goals for 2026.
I promise to be very, very short. This is not my original prayer, okay? I saw it in somewhere and I love it. I think it's beautiful, so I'm gonna use the prayer, okay? It's not my original one. So let's all close our eyes. I'm gonna be welcoming 2026, right? Okay, just mentally follow me, or you can silently say it. Dear Heavenly Father, as I stand at the doorway of 2026, I come before you in the name of Jesus Christ. If you're not Christian, you can change it to your God, okay? Doesn't matter. Before this new year fully unfolds, I place my life, my family, my work, and my future into your hands. Go before me and destroy every plan of darkness set against my life. By the authority of Jesus, every curse that tried to follow me from previous years is stopped here. Every negative word, every repeated pattern, every hidden plan meant to delay my progress or steal my peace is canceled now. What was sent to weaken me will not enter 2026 with me. Cover my home with your presence. Guard my steps with your wisdom. Order my days with your peace. I will not keep this prayer to myself. I promise to share this prayer with at least one person today. In the victorious name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, inhale and exhale and understand the meaning and see how you can apply it, what that means for you. Welcoming 2026 in a more positive way. No more darkness, no more temptations, no more creepy stuff, no more negative thoughts, no more negativity, no more worrying about psychic attacks or anything. See a brighter 2026 coming your way, closing behind 2025. Okay, you can open your eyes now.
Thank you so much, Master Marilag. It's one of the senior disciples of Master Choa Kok Sui, and we're very excited to have Master Marilag over in the UK for the first time. In 30 years of teaching Pranic Healing, she is gracing our land with our Arhatic Yoga preparatory course on the 24th and 25th of October, 2026. Thank you so much to all our beautiful speakers. So, Madam Sumi, Madi Sir, Scarlett, Dr. Amir, and Anna Maria. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Deepest gratitude. And the recordings will be available on YouTube shortly.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Okay, thank you for staying as well. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.